as far as being a town committee and whatnot. They filled out a vendor form, okay? And the guy who filled it out and whatnot does not work for them anymore, but.
Of course.
Well, he did well, but
Mhm.
he got a better offer over in the west end of town, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, so, but anyhow, what caused us pause was, they had already donated two Sunray Solar shoulder bags to be awarded to people, you know, done with a raffle type of thing. But then here he says $250 referral fee for every sale we make. And we had told him at the time, we can't do that. Okay, because that would be taking as us favoring one vendor over another.
Can I ask you another question real quick?
Hmm?
It says 2015 Dunbarton Energy Fair. Why, but it says Sunday, April 23rd, 2016. You got me confused.
Hold on.
Are we talking 2015 or 2016?
Oh, that's where it is. Where are you seeing 2015?
Up at the header.
Yeah, right at the header, big
Oh.
bold.
I must have reused the form because that was 2016, I went to it.
It says 2016 here or 2015 there.
Maybe it's your form that needs to be updated,
The
is that a
number-
generic form
Oh.
that you guys use for your vendors?
Yeah, the number 5 says
The,
2015 as well.
the vendor form, yeah. Yeah, and frankly, thank you for spotting that, even though it's embarrassing.
Well, that's why when you talk about the future, I'm seeing
You know,
2015, it's like 2015's come and gone.
So now I am officially embarrassed, but thank you for pointing it out.
No, that's okay, I'm just glad I'm not confused.
What date's the energy fair again, please?
According to this, the 23rd of April.
And next
2016.
year's will be more in February. We polled the vendors. Cause vendors were happy, cause they didn't have to pay a booth fee, cause we were running it in a public, right place and whatnot. But we didn't get a whole lot of people coming through, because it happened to be, that weekend was the first really nice weekend.
Everybody's working on the
Right.
properties.
So, next year, we are going to, move it back probably in February, and it'll be called something like the Central New Hampshire, Home Energy Show.
May wanna check with basketball schedule, cause I think they go into February.
And that, yes, right, that's all part of it, and frankly, one of the options that hasn't been decided one way or the other, it's just sitting out there on the table until we actually get into looking at it again, is having it at maybe over at Bow, because that's a little more centrally located. When I was out putting up these posters all over Goffstown and Ware and Henniker and Hopkinton and whatnot, the first one I handed out was down at the Bow High School, and the lady there said, oh, that's really nice, you know, we have solar in our house and we've done a bunch of stuff and I'm really interested in this, but I'm not a resident of Dunbarton. So,
Yeah.
but.
It's a public location, so.
Yeah, but that is why we, this is more of the story than you probably need to hear right now, we are looking at scaling it up. Last year, publicity was all free. This year, I think if we do call it a regional, we are going to have to pay some ads and stuff like that. So the money would come in handy. So if if Sunray just donated the money for the event itself to keep it going, would that be all right? And would that not mean us showing favoritism to them by accepting it? And I attempted to put that in a email to Nicole, and it was just not working, so they're down on Hall Street, so I just went down and I said, I gotta run this by, you know.
I don't think contributions from whoever
Mhm.
is attending it, I don't think that's problematic, John. You know,
Okay.
and it gives you the ability, because last year they had the Goffstown News that they could put it in. Now we're all cut out of the Goffstown News, because our kids are going to Bow, so Goffstown kind of, you don't even see the paper anywhere. You can't even get, when they go to the hardware store,
No kidding.
because they mail it out
Oh,
to the
really?
residents, yeah. So,
Good for them.
I think they have a hurdle to climb. They're trying to change the name from Dunbarton Energy to Central Region. So, I mean,
New Hampshire.
and they do, I guess, you do have a checkbook, right?
Yes,
Oh,
So they
you-
have a place to deposit money into.
Your town committee, right?
yes.
No, we're a nonprofit as a town, just in general, so I mean, they can make a donation, and as long as it's into the
Yeah.
town and not individual people.
It would be made out to the energy committee
Right,
for
Yeah.
deposit into
Right.
that account specifically, which is how they
Mm-hmm.
manage the donations that were given earlier on
Mhm.
before they were established, that they had like $250, $50 from different businesses to deposit, and that's how they came up with their first, was that a laser sensor or the
Oh.
heat sensor
The
that we use throughout the town?
the IR gun, infrared
Infrared,
yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
That one there, we applied for a grant from the grassroots fund and
Mhm.
get that one taken. But in the past, we have also gotten donations just in general for people, and then the neighbors, warming neighbors, a couple of those
Mhm.
clients, a couple or a few donated just to say thank you.
Mhm.
You know, we got it in our minds to try to run things without money changing
Mhm.
hands particularly, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to do something. So I am overly careful when it comes to things like
Mhm.
this, probably. But just wanted to run it by you and see whether you thought it was any issue with the ethics or anything.
I think, it's any issue.
I don't have, yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't appear to be a conflict there, so.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you could ask donations, you know, not requirements, but donations from any vendor if they wanted to so choose, and
yeah,
utilize money to keep, you know, perpetuate the program.
yeah. Well, couple of them put in a fair amount of time composing, so that we had sent out a email afterwards saying, what can we do better,
Mhm.
right? And there were a couple of them that really put some time into some good thinking.
Mhm.
And then there were others who, at the fair, said they would like to help us set up next year's event
Mhm.
with ideas and publicity contacts and whatnot, not generating any
Right.
special
Mhm.
treatment on
That'd be great.
their behalf. So,
So, I think we're
I think I said
success.
enough.
Yeah, I don't have a problem, especially
Fine.
when the
Yeah.
person donated it so they can continue perpetrating
Yep.
the energy fair and,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, go for it.
Just a thought though, maybe, what about the weekend after town meeting, or school meeting, whichever one comes last?
Yeah,
That way you
got
get
to
more
look at,
chance to advertise it,
yeah,
That's a good idea.
just a thought.
Yeah,
It's still crappy weather.
yeah, we usually have to look at event calendars because there's also things like home shows in Manchester and
Right.
Concord and all over the place. And
No, I understand.
Yep.
so that also,
Just throwing it out there, I mean, whatever you decide is fine by me,
I like ideas,
I mean.
okay? Might not be able to act on all of them, but I like them.
No problem, John.
Well, I've got a few for you this coming month.
Yeah, he does.
So far, you've only mentioned one.
No, well,
Yeah.
we're adding to that.
What are you adding to it roughly so I can?
I'll let you know when we have our meeting.
Okay,
Yeah. Anything else for the order?
nope, I'm done.
So you're gonna modify this a little bit? This is Dunbarton's form for the vendor, right?
Right, and it says 2000.
Maybe you should add a column that says, what would you be donating? And leave a line, door prize, leave a line, donation.
Oh,
Leave a line.
like,
You know, just give them the
Services.
option to say, I'll give you 3 items if you want for your,
like expand item number 5 there,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right?
yeah, just add lines saying, what would you be willing to
Right.
donate to the energy
Mhm.
fair?
Yeah,
And then leave options.
yeah, here we had, vendors are encouraged to provide energy-related door prizes to be
Mhm.
awarded by the fair organizers during the event, you know?
No, absolutely. The light, have we made any progress on getting that, fixed such that it comes on better?
The options I have from John Ruggles at RT Electric.
Mhm.
Okay. There's a sensor mounted right up over here,
Yeah.
right? And that can sense out to about 60 feet, which is a little bit more than halfway across the parking lot.
But it hasn't been working that way, cause I know myself walking up there, I could stand right in front of, beside that light pole and wave my arms, and I'd have to walk even closer before I'd even catch it.
Right.
And have the other people behind me into the middle of the parking lot, and it's not picking them up either.
Right, and we had, we put in half a solution there, which is the timer switches at the doors, so people leaving,
Mhm.
even the world's best sensor isn't going to sense you walking out a door.
Oh, no. Well, my concern is like, you know, you get people that drive up here and,
Right.
it just happened not too long ago, Katie McDonald came in afterwards, that light was on, she drove up, I could see her car and I could barely see her, and she ran right down the middle of the parking lot to get in here, the light never kicked on, she's out there in the dark.
Right,
You know, it's more
Right.
also just for the people that's coming in as well as people going out.
right, so the option that John Ruggles came up with, well, first off, there might be sensors that sense a greater distance out,
Mhm.
okay? But so far, I haven't found any. The other thing is that these 2 trees here block
Mhm.
the sensor, right?
Yeah.
So, the strategy shift is to say we're gonna have a sensor
Mhm.
that just turns it on at dusk, and then holds it on for a certain amount of time. When the light level outside,
Mhm.
falls,
Yeah, photoelectric cell, and it's,
right, falls below a threshold that is called right, it turns off.
mhm.
And then to avoid staying on all night, there can be a timer knob that you can set at 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 5, 6, 8, right? The idea being that in the summer,
Mhm.
to avoid having it on at 2 or 3 in the morning, you know, you can
Right.
turn that back a little bit, you know, but
Mhm.
that's another thing to be maintained. Or just, set it for 6 hours and be done with it. Things have changed. Back in the old days, that would have been like 400 watts.
Yeah, oh no.
So you had to think a little bit more about that kind of thing. This thing here, as I recall, is around 28 watts. So if it stays on a little longer,
Oh, granted, it's definitely more efficient, no doubt about it, but
Right.
I mean,
and the
electricity just for the sake of burning it though.
right, it's the principle, but then maybe the principle gets modified a little bit by needs in employment, of the thing. So that's basically where we've gotten to so far. And now that the other things are sort of died down, we'll one day I can get back into it a little more. But what are your thoughts?
Can I ask
That's-
a question?
Absolutely.
Is that a wired sensor that's on the building? Is that why it's set that in that location? Wired there
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, it's
sensor?
hard, yeah.
So it's nothing that we could relocate and put on the pole except,
If you
So-
put it on the pole,
Yeah.
these sensors look up to 180 degrees.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you put it on the pole, it'll sense things further that way,
Mhm.
but it'll be guaranteed to miss anything this side of the pole. That's why it was put right on the building, so that it would trigger
Mhm.
people, traffic right at the building also, So if you move it out further, it also does not look directly down,
Mhm.
okay? There's an angle here, so anybody walking under the pole would not be seen by it.
Hmm.
Which may be part of the pattern issue you are finding with actually walking out to the pole and not having it going on.
Maybe too high.
Maybe it just doesn't see down that low. Those sensors, wherever we have used them, outdoor, indoor, room type, they are sort of temperamental. So, if you wanted to make sure, for reasons of safety or whatever, that you had light out there, when it comes to be dusk, turn it on. And then a timer times out.
Well,
Cause if you go with sensing, you would still have to deal with the trees here,
mhm.
right? And I don't think anybody wants to.
I think it's more sensing for the parking lot than, because we have lights underneath the
Right.
overhangs there, so, I mean,
Right,
that gets us
However-
out to the driveways. When you get to the driveway, it gets dark.
yeah.
however, if you stand where the sensor is,
Mhm.
or at nearly any place along here, and look out, one of those trees will be blocking a good sized section of the parking lot. It's just not gonna see anything that is behind the tree from the sensor. So,
Mhm.
bottom line, the surest way is when it gets dark enough that you'd like to have more light out there, which is technically dusk,
Mhm.
you turn it on.
These timers, do they go like 4 or 5 hours? Whereas if we started, you know what I mean? I think if we got used to just, I know Linda, you use it, right? Going out the door, do you turn it on?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, just let me, I'm not gonna try to work this one from memory.
So I'm just wondering if maybe we need to put a sign saying at dusk, turn timer on. That way
You
it
only
would
need to
give
turn
us.
it on when you're walking out.
I know, but
When
let's
you
say
walk
for
out.
like this person that just came in while the meeting had started, if we knew that there was going to be a meeting and people were running late or it gets dark at 5:30, we might wanna turn it on so there's
Those are good up to 15 minutes.
that's it, okay.
Those are exit.
if it were like a
exit switches.
4-hour timer, someone coming in at 5 o'clock when it's starting to get dark, knowing there's a meeting, could easily turn it on
Mhm.
for 4 hours, but,
Yeah, but that means somebody, an employee of the town, or who's ever running a meeting in here when there's nobody, like when the committees meet,
Mhm.
need to know to turn that on.
right,
Whereas if it's a dusk sensor, it's on.
it's turned on.
Yeah. Well, we got some options to think about, kicking around.
Yeah, the neighbors all, they all said that this going on and off at 2 in the morning or whatever hadn't been a problem to them. You're a neighbor, how does that work for you?
Doesn't affect anybody that I know of.
Can't see from her house.
It's,
I'm talking about my
LEDs.
tenants in the front, they haven't said anything to me about it being disturbing, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
LEDs aim the light, plus also the fixture is set up to block light from going out of the angle.
Hmm.
So if that was gonna be an issue, it hasn't proven to be one. So,
Who's the manufacturer of that light again? Remember?
not off the top of my head, no, I've got a lot
Do
of.
we get any paperwork on that?
Oh, I've got the full catalog and everything, data.
I mean, as in, as far as,
Construction.
we, signed a contract for it, I mean, I assume the lights and all the stuff, comes with some type of operation manuals and stuff like that. I would think we'd have some closeout documentation so she could put in the file, right?
We were, given the part number, it's a Gleon, Gleon, which is actually made by a larger company that you would all recognize, I think.
Mhm.
But, we've got the, part number for that. And with that part number, you just go out to their site and download the manual,
Right.
okay? If you'd like, I can, send you the manual.
if it's helpful for, at least the employees that work here to know how to operate it, or.
Oh, that manual that I was just speaking about, I thought we were speaking about the lamp.
Yeah, lamp and, all of it, I mean, you get the motion
Oh,
sensor, you get the lamp,
yeah.
you get the timers, anything that we, installed as part of that project,
Yeah.
any documentation that goes with it, far as like manuals, warranties, all that stuff should be part of a closeout packet that we should get from the contractor to us when it's all said and done.
Well, they gave us the part numbers of
Mhm.
everything, okay? In past experience with working and whatnot, vendors will give you the part numbers for things. If you want a manual, you can just go out and get one, it's very easy,
That way, a list of all the part numbers and everything that they use, and, manufacturer part numbers, all that stuff, so she can put in the file so we have it
Yes,
for the future. That'd be great, just so, because we're not all gonna be here, and if something breaks 15 years from now, they have to go find it,
but that'll be there, no? So.
that's all.
What are your feelings on abandoning the concept of the somewhat tricky sensor here and just going with a dust plus number of hours? It's the most reliable.
I think that's what the library has right now, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about it earlier.
Right, but they have problems with their timer, cause it has to keep getting reprogrammed.
Yeah,
Right.
That's the problem with them.
so if you have a photo cell though, you don't need to do that.
So that's why you need instructions, because every time you turn
Right.
around, you gotta mess with the timer or whatever the case may be, or,
Yeah. And if you lose power, does that affect the timer as well?
of course,
Probably it's like a clock,
once it's got some battery
let's get a
backup.
battery backup.
So basically here, I believe what would happen is if the lights came on at say 7:30,
Mhm.
right, the sensor said it just came on at 7:30, you were right,
Mhm.
now on. The chances are good that, if you had a power failure at 9:30, if the timer was set for, say, 3 hours, right? And you had a power failure at 9:30, and then the power came back on at 10, it'd start that 3 hour cycle again.
Mhm.
Because that is a manual setting.
Yeah,
Which, is that a terrible thing?
I'd say not knowing.
Huh?
I'd say not knowing, depends on who's gonna fix it.
Yeah, or go down in the basement if that's where it's gonna be.
What?
It's not,
Fixing the timer, you know,
yeah, resetting the time.
resetting the timer.
Oh, yeah, but, it's just that, you could just leave it alone.
Mhm.
And when the power comes back on, the sensor will say, oops, dark out,
Mhm.
turn on. How long do we hold? It's set for 3 hours, okay, you know.
What's your thoughts, gentlemen?
If I've
Johnny?
I know that now a lot of the manuals that you want to use for almost anything, they make you go online to get, so it'd be good if you got a hard copy
Yeah,
that they'd have here.
Mhm.
yep. I'll just send the link to it and you can make the copy here if it's
Yeah.
okay.
Manufacturers are getting cheap, that way they make you print
Well,
out your own stuff.
that's what happens
They're
now
all
is
on one.
you got basic installation,
Mhm.
and then it tells you if you wanna reference the manual, you
Mhm.
have to go online, you go to that,
Yep.
to their website and,
Well, even installation instructions, we should have that, that should all be part of that closeout packet, anything, it's, because you never know. Cause the next person that goes to take and work on it may not be the same guy that installed it, and,
Right.
that way they can at least have a clue what's there.
And if there's something on file here, you can just hand it to them and say, there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
Especially in 7 or 8 years when that model is no longer made and the manual is obsolete.
very true, when it comes offline, you can't get it. Thoughts?
I like the idea of a sensor, kind of, but
Yeah,
What bothers you about a dusk sensor with a stay on duration timer?
me?
Whoever.
Oh,
doesn't bother me, kinda like it.
I know this day and age with, like, from current work experience, that in this day and age, they make lights like that actually have the motion sensor and dusk sensor built right in, and it picks up everything, it's 360 degree.
Yeah.
I have them in canopies, go up to Hazen Drive, they work excellent.
And this sensor here is, it's 360-degree sensor, it says.
Mhm.
But if you actually read the fine print and the diagrams about where it actually senses,
Mhm.
yeah.
maybe we need to lower it, is that what we?
Was it possible to put more than one
Yeah.
to kinda give you more of a field of view? I mean, if that's so limited,
Mhm.
you know,
Could be,
you put one on top of the other and one's aimed a little lower, one's aimed a little
Mhm.
higher.
or you put one at this end of the building and one at that end of the building, which
Maybe.
Possible.
minimizes the effect of the 2 trees out front.
The other one
I
was-
don't really think the trees are the problem though, because we have walked down the center of that parking lot,
Right.
and that light does not come on.
Oh,
So I think it's more than the trees.
what I'm basically saying is, if there was a sensor that could sense further out,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you would then notice that if you were behind a tree from the sensor, it wouldn't pick you up.
yeah.
Well, let's look into the different options and see what they're
Yeah.
gonna cost us and
Right.
issues to put in and all that, because
I'll do some more thinking about it and I'll get back to you next week.
whatever that we have to go with, we go with, but I
Yeah.
mean, I personally, my opinion, is this day and age, I just hate to burn electricity just for the sake of, turning on a timer and letting it run when there's no one using it.
As a card-carrying member of the Energy Committee, I fully agree. But I also have to say that there's a safety issue here.
Oh, absolutely. So,
You know.
Make a suggestion?
sure.
I know it's not public comment, but you're talking about as the seasons change and the time that you wanna turn these lights on changes. I set up a reminder right on my Google Calendar, and it changes with the season, turn on the lights. So obviously at 4 o'clock in the summertime, I don't need to turn on the hallway lights. But as the season gets dark earlier, I've got my reminder coming up, because where I'm sitting in a bright room, it doesn't occur to me that that hallway is dark for my people coming in, so maybe we put on your little, it's just a pop-up reminder comes on at the same time every day, and you can change it as the seasons go.
I turn
you
on
just-
the lights when I come in. Usually I'm the last one in and everybody, and I
No,
turn
but
the
in,
lights on.
for the we're talking about dusk.
Yeah,
Right. So just set up a dusk reminder, and dusk on the dot changes from month to month.
but again, it's on a 15-minute timer, so what we have now would not work.
Oh,
If we
alright.
move it to a dusk to dawn, then yes, that
I
might
didn't
work.
realize it was just on a timer.
Just
I
on
thought
a-
you
well,
had a
that's-
switch you
Sensor.
could put on, a sensor.
I don't-
Well, that was an option, that it just comes on at dusk, and then you got a timer that's set for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever you wanna have it on. Which, if you are most interested in saving electricity, in the summer, you'd have it set for 2.5 or 3 hours, in the winter, you'd have it set for 5 or 6 hours.
Right. Alright, well, let's do a little more homework to it and see if we can
I'll
come up with
look
a
for-
reasonable.
I will try to compile
Thank you.
all the options.
Appreciate that, John, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything
We
else? We good on everything else, Tim? I am gonna continue on, Mr. Martell. I believe this was yours. Bob, talk about this.
Oh, and this is just some of the handouts from the Health Trust, has to do with, new employee benefits or reversal of how you receive some monies. I guess at one time, and I don't remember what specific, but they had a two-part where you got $50 the first part and 75 the second part. They've reversed that program around where you get 75 and then 50. But besides that, I can talk to you about the possibility of the rates. They'll establish the rates the 18th of October. The January rates would be 9.2% increase, and the July rates are about 13.9%. That's where they'll probably stay.
Is that a maximum, or is that where they're projecting this?
That's where they're projecting it to be.
Okay,
Okay, and again, the critical one for them is gonna be the July one, cause they set it, and that's what they have to live with, unless it goes down. And if it goes up any higher, they have to eat it till the next time, you know. The other thing is they have, there won't be a refund this year or a holiday, whichever way you take it.
No holiday, huh?
They went to court, and I guess, their reserves, right now, they have 63 million or 64 million in reserve. The court would like to see it about 90, but then they had a second actuarial company come in, redo the numbers, and that actuarial said between 90 and 140 million. So whereas their shortfall is, for paying past bills, current bills, and some future bills as they go forward, they're at 63 or 64, they comfortable at 90, and that's what they're gonna shoot for, so, and they're saying there's no refund this year, or no holiday. Other than that,
So, well, 9.2 and 3.9, they'll definitely make up their millions of dollars, no problem.
Sure will.
and they're beginning to structure the programs you can offer your employees. I think, and you said you were reaching out to.
she's already responded.
But there's, okay, cause they are supposed to come out.
Yep.
And, so they can let us know what the plans are that they have.
Right, right.
And I know we're in that group that picks 1,
50.
2 out of 3 is, right?
Right, but we're at the smaller group. too.
We're in that group, yeah, well,
Up to 50.
the
Pool.
50 or less, is in that unassigned risk pool.
Yeah.
Which is made up of all of those.
Candace was the individual that came to meet with us last
Oh, yeah.
year, so I've already reached out to her. She said I was correct with your statements that, they should have the final numbers by the end of October, and then once we've gotten that letter from them like we did in the
Mhm.
past,
Yeah,
that would be the opportunity for us to say, okay, come on in and talk to us, so.
yeah, let's schedule them ASAP, because I know
Yeah.
last year we were a little behind
Yep,
times and we
I've
lost
already-
2 months.
Yep, I have that reminder, and
Yeah.
she's already responded that she would be glad to meet with us.
But that's what they had told us there, it was gonna be the 18th that they'd have their rate set.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least it gives us a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm, yep,
So, it looks like health insurance is going up, whether we like it or not.
What a shock.
Yeah, well,
Did they say why the rates are increasing?
and actually they had dropped, a year or two, they dropped, and they increased slightly, like 5%, 5.2%, or whatever. And this is, I think this is just catching up with, where they're supposed to have been. That's why you're at 63 or 64 million versus meeting the 90.
Mhm.
yeah,
Because unfortunately, you're paying bills 3 years back, is what they explained. So they have bills that they're gonna be paying that could be up to 3 years old. Then you have the current bills that they're addressing, and then you have bills that are being created
Mhm.
that are gonna come in. So that kinda eats up at that.
Right.
This might sound like a lot of money, but it probably goes pretty fast.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. It's kinda like this retirement unfunded liability, gotta play catch up. Gotcha. Well, thank you for going to the class and,
Hey, it was quiet, there was only 8 people there.
nice.
Hmm.
Nice. Alright, what we got? Oh yes, we had a cruiser that got hit, D3.
Nice.
By a utility company truck on a detail today in Henniker, that was Wednesday. Okay, the vehicle's parked with the blue lights on and occupied. Police are investigating the incident. We'll have the other party's information for you tomorrow. Yeah, so,
So who do the cops call when they get in an accident in another town like that? They call the Henniker police?
yeah,
File a report?
absolutely. Jeez. That's not good. We're gonna be getting rid of this car next, right?
Looks like real soon.
Do we get a loaner?
Yeah. From Henniker.
Then you get a rental.
Go for Henniker.
It gets taken up by the utility company.
Yep,
So that was our police car that got in an accident?
yes, yep.
yeah.
In Henniker, in a detail in Henniker, the construction detail. So it's being investigated by Henniker Police and we'll have to wait and see. And then we have a, non-public issue here. That's the end of the mailbox, so,
Yeah, I think Linda had something, I don't know.
any public comment or is it something,
Right, oh yeah, I just had a couple of things. One is, with the election coming up,
Yep.
Lean, can you arrange with whoever does the marquee in front of the library
Yep, put it up on there.
to post the date, the times, and the location?
Yeah,
I know a lot of
I don't
my-
think we have in the past, but we can do that.
No, we have in the past, but I'm hoping it'll cut down on some of the,
Calls.
you know, where we're going or
Yes,
whatever.
absolutely, that's a good idea.
and
Could you
I-
just send me all that information, so, I know that they like to take my emails and go out to the board with the email, so they get everything correct.
Okay.
So if you can just make
Yeah,
sure.
thank you, that'd be good. And I know right now we've got, Halloween stuff coming up,
Yep,
so it doesn't have to be like the beginning of the month. Maybe as soon as the Halloween stuff comes down, the bulk stuff comes down,
yeah,
put it up then so it really
Yeah.
stands out. Cause people can't drive and read or there'll be an accident, maybe.
yeah, we'll have, Mary said she'd be willing to help us out with that, so.
Super, thank you.
Okay,
And the other thing was, I wanted to thank all of you for, getting the information on the water conservation onto the town's website right away. That was really great, and you put that link up there to the environmental services, to the water division. So I wanted to thank you for that, and I just wanted to share with you, I have been going to the laundromat for several months now.
Yeah.
To cut down on water use at home. And with, almost every single time I go, I run into a fellow townsperson, at the laundromat. And when I was leaving, the other day, the attendant there said to me as I was walking out, "You must be from Ware or Dunbarton." And I said, "What makes you say that?" He says, "Our business is really hopping and all the new people are from Ware and Dunbarton." So just to share that with you, that it really is widespread and it's affecting people, deeply. Those of us with the dug wells first. So, but thank you again for putting that out there.
Welcome,
And,
we do.
and keep it coming.
If you guys need water, I mean, that's, I assume you touched base with John
I
already.
did,
Yeah,
I
so
did.
he's ready for that.
He said that the source of water for the community is the library spigot outside.
Yep.
And then that spigot is tied into our
Mhm.
spigot as well, and I asked him if he wanted me to pursue getting the water tested, and he said that it's an active community, it's been part of this center here for
We
water
still
supply.
actually, it reminds me, we're supposed to get that tested because especially like with the men's coffee,
Yep,
it's not a public it's a, they call it a transient public water supply. So we're supposed to actually have it tested.
all right, then I will reach out to him.
Yes, oh gosh, I remember that. Glad you brought that up, 'cause now it reminds, because we probably ought to just, be on the safe side. Cause if we pass out water to somebody and,
But the
And
letter
it's
that
bad,
you,
yeah,
but the
it's-
letter that you read said that they would send someone out and test it at no cost, so I'm trying to get that
yeah, I don't remember.
testing done first, if not, then we
Oh, absolutely.
can get the,
We get it free of charge, excellent.
yeah.
Will you be advertising that that's the public water supply? I mean, I know people
I wanna
get
make sure I
water
get the
from our,
water tested first.
okay, cause I know people get
Yeah.
water from our spigots, you know, for the cemetery when they come to visit, grave sites, I know in
Yeah.
the past they've done it, but
Yeah.
that's a good point, it should be tested.
Yep,
Otherwise that we can end up in deeper doo-doo.
Okay. I think in one of the publications, and I've just read so much on this lately, so I could be mistaken, but I thought it was one of the state publications recommended not going to outdoor spigots because of possible contamination, so that's something you might wanna think, bacteria, whatever, something you might wanna think about before you even.
I used to drink from the hose outside, I live.
yeah,
No,
I'll have to
I-
ask him
yeah,
about
me
that.
too, but-
I'll ask him about that.
Oh, you bought, did you?
I still do.
I think Leo remembers in Merrimack, we drank from a hose. Tasted like gasoline.
Probably was.
Well, the guy told us afterwards, right?
Leaking underground storage tank.
Told us that he had sodas in the fridge, not to drink that water anymore.
Not potable,
Not potable, yeah.
That's
right.
what happens with a leaky underground storage tank.
you know, if you had a sign there,
It's
at the
just not
spigot,
potable.
not potable.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
That way
Is
they
that-
could still use it,
Yeah.
not drink it. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
That's a good idea.
Well, then in this case, we need to rethink the outdoor spigot being the public water supply in case of an emergency.
correct, and that's what John said that they have used
Yep.
when we've had no power and people are looking for water.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
they
it's
use.
been that way for years.
I
A
understand.
suggestion on that, I mean, if you just want it for drinking purposes, I buy bottled water, the gallon jugs for home.
Mhm.
But for, washing dishes or whatever, I have my little connections with my gallon jugs everywhere. For flushing the toilet, just go to Kimball Pond with 5-gallon buckets.
Oh, absolutely.
And that, I mean, and pass that along, and that way, we're not tapping the aquifers
Yeah.
for that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's an idea, if anybody asks, what can I do?
Yeah.
Cause the water there, right now it's nice and clear, and we don't have to chip through ice to get to it. And it's really nice and clear, and,
Maybe a little bit different in a few more months though.
yeah,
If
no,
we don't get sufficient rainfall and it freezes over, we're gonna be still,
that little bit of rain we've gotten has
Hasn't-
not made a lick of difference in
No.
my well.
You can see it in the pond levels, they're like
Yeah,
down.
yeah, they're way
oh
down.
yeah.
I see
Everywhere.
when I turn on the faucet. I don't even need to go to a pond.
I know the pond next to my house is still full, but it's got a natural spring,
Yeah,
keeps it full.
my beaver pond's still full.
My pond, I think I could walk across and wouldn't go above my waist. It
Mhm.
comes from the fire pond,
Mhm.
and usually there's a trickle that comes down, and there's a hole, I don't know, from like here to that wall,
Mhm.
it's all just mud.
Yeah,
That's how far down my pond, I don't even think it's gonna make it. if we
You
don't
fish
get
in that
rain
pond,
pretty
don't
soon. Hmm?
you have fish in that pond, don't you?
Yeah, I've got another pond, I call the upper pond, the one
Dry
I share
now.
with the, Mr. Zeller, that's the one that's just, I mean, it's just disappeared, I mean, it's gotta be
Yeah,
down
it's
like 15 feet.
that brook
My
that's
big
next
pond, I
to,
hadn't even looked at, I'm afraid to look, that one was
Brook
18
that's
feet deep, but I bet
between
you
my
it's not
house
now.
and Skillen's old place,
Mhm.
you can walk up it now.
Oh,
Really?
You just, there's a little tidal pools here and there, but you can.
I think mine's gonna
walk
end up
right
like that
right
by
to it.
winter if it doesn't rain more.
Well, I know 2 weeks ago in Manchester, they were concerned because Lake Massabesic was down 49 inches.
It is 49
And just,
inches.
it's 54 now.
Jeez.
And they measured it the first part of this week. It was down 54 inches. That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
That's a big lake. Yep.
Well, anyway, thank you for putting the word out.
You're
and
welcome.
Hopefully people will read it, and
Mhm.
it might not even be a bad idea to throw something on the marquee too. Concord's got those electronic
Yeah.
You
signs.
see them all
here
over
and
the
there,
place
and
now.
it's-
We don't have a message board, do we?
We have just the recreation message board.
No, I mean, I'm talking like a portable one that like, something that
No,
Jeff would use for construction purposes.
yeah, no, nothing like that.
You have to really have your head in the sand not to be aware, but I think people,
Don't care sometimes.
if it doesn't affect you, you're not gonna know, and
Right.
so many people have artesian wells
Yeah,
that it's
but
not
they
gonna.
still impact them.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah,
impacting,
yeah.
yes, it's
That's what
impacting
our
me.
walls go
It's
dry.
impacting you, but I mean, but you have a whole lot of, people drawing
Yeah,
off.
and that's
of
why,
yours.
since I cut the laundry off, my water's cleared up, but I have two 300-gallon storage tanks in my basement. That if we lose power, I can open spigots and give the tenants water for drinking, so.
I just put a new lawn in and I haven't put one drop of water on it yet.
Yeah, that go into the
Gotta be
laundromat
smart about it,
stand
you know?
too.
I'd rather lose the lawn than the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
You
do
can always
no
replant the
outside
lawn.
water.
Yeah, I don't care about that, you know?
It's amazing how your priorities change,
Well,
isn't it?
you know, if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But, you know, if the pump burns out, cause the well goes dry, that's even worse, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I had,
and you're really SOL.
I had that one happen to me a few years ago.
Turn the pump off as soon as we're done with the water at home is strictly for showers, and I'm telling you, they are
Gets to be a
3
chore,
minutes or
doesn't it?
less. That pump goes right off, cause I've heard of a few people, their pumps have burned out.
Huh? He just gets in the shower and you go, you're still in there?
Yeah.